Good morning, Sonia.
Good morning. It's January 15th, 2021, and I have a great vlog planned for you. I want to try out some more photography experiments, so today we're going to be messing around with long exposure photography. Not quite as good as the fancy coffee maker makes it, but still really good.
I'm actually having a really productive day today. I really enjoyed having Tristan as a guest on yesterday's vlog. So now I'm working on getting some more guests for short segments. If one of you would like to do a short segment on the vlog, I would love to have you. Maybe you have some insights regarding business or video or photography or design. Would love to have you on for a discussion. So hit me up in the DMs or leave a comment on this video. I'll get back to you. So I did a little research today on the best settings for long exposure photography. I'm pretty new to this technique myself. I've played around a little bit, so I think that I should be able to do this in manual mode. I do have a backup plan if that doesn't work out. First thing that you want to do is set your ISO. I'm going to try at ISO 100 so that I don't get a lot of grain in my images. The next thing that we're going to set is the aperture. Now, from what I could find online, the optimal aperture for long exposures is between 7 and 11-ish, which makes sense to me. You probably want a lot of your frame to be in focus. The most important setting here is the shutter speed. So again, basically for long exposure photography, what we're doing is exposing our sensor for a long time so that we can get all the motion and the light trails and whatnot. So if we go into here, these would be quicker exposures. We don't want that. We want really slow exposures. The longest that I can leave the shutter open for is 30 seconds. And I think that that's going to be long enough. If it's not, there is always the option of bulb mode. You can see if we switch to the B here, that puts our camera into bulb mode, which apparently means that it will, that the shutter will stay open as long as I'm holding the trigger. Let's try that out. Yeah, that seems to work.
The other thing is that long exposures tend to work better if you have a really dark, like pitch black setting with really bright lights, and that's why I've been waiting for the sun to go down. But don't worry, it's like 4 o'clock in January in Ontario. That sun's gonna be down soon. Okay, so we're all set up here. First, I'm gonna do a still shot with the shutter set to 125, and then we're going to show a long exposure. And I'm gonna use a 10-second timer so I can get into the frame. Obviously we don't get much because our ISO is really low and the shutter isn't open very long. But now we're gonna do a longer exposure, and I'm gonna move the light around a bunch. So let's try 4 seconds to start. Okay, pretty cool. I think that I'm moving around too much and that's making me really blurred out. I think I might need another person for this. And I think we're gonna expose for a little bit longer. And also, we're going to narrow our aperture a little bit more. Wow, pretty cool, pretty weird. Definitely the subject is still a little bit blurry, but much less so than when I was moving the light around by myself. I'm finding that it definitely helps if the subject is static. If you're trying to use a real person, even if they stand as still as possible, just their like natural breathing and stuff like that is gonna cause some blur. Interesting photos nonetheless though. I've got a pretty nice view of the highway from my balcony, so I think I'm gonna try shooting that next. I'm just going to be keeping the camera steady, and all of the movement is coming from the traffic itself. So let's see if we can do a long exposure and get some light trails out of this shot. Okay, pretty interesting. Definitely 8 to 10 seconds seems to be enough time to create some light trails. I've got to take Sonia for a walk now, and then I'm gonna go out and try a couple of more things. The fact that it's raining right now is definitely not doing me any favors, but I think that I'm still gonna try to get out and get a couple more photos before the night's done. And Sonia's not enjoying this rain either. It makes it harder to take photos. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think that having a bunch of rain droplets on your lens is the best thing for long exposure photography. I'm gonna have to find some spots that are covered. I don't know, whatever. It's not raining that bad. I guess the lens is just gonna get some water droplets on it. I'm gonna try something a little bit different. Now everything in the frame is static, and I'm gonna be moving the camera up and down once I've opened the shutter. I'm also going to try some where I just shake the camera around like crazy. All right, I wouldn't say that any of these are truly genius photos, but this was definitely a fun exercise. I definitely learned a lot. I hope that you guys did too, and I'll see you back here on Monday.